When young people take their political dissent to the streets in India, the state's response follows a highly predictable script. Authorities deploy barricades, lathi charges, and heavy water cannons to aggressively clear the area. But during a recent youth mobilization led by the Cockroach Janta Party, a digital meme page turned protest organizer, the police completely broke character. Instead of facing riot gear at Jantar Mantar, the young leader of the CJP was personally escorted by police. Police officers provided him with cold drinking water. When he felt unwell from the intense Delhi heat, he was peacefully allowed to leave the site before the scheduled end time. The target of this specific protest was a high-level cabinet member, Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. Why would a government famous for aggressively crushing opposition treat a massive mobilization demanding its own minister's resignation with kid gloves? When an authoritarian-leaning state openly permits a protest to happen, we have to pause. We have to ask if we are watching a genuine revolution or a perfectly manufactured pressure valve designed to let public anger escape into the atmosphere. The CJP emerged as a satirical meme page, an unlikely vessel for the reservoir of national fury it eventually captured. The underlying anger here is completely authentic. Systemic leaks in the NEET and CUET exams compromise the futures of roughly 24 million young citizens. These students watched their hard work evaporate overnight. This illustrates the pressure valve theory. To survive crises, governments stop pressure from threatening the main structural tank. Instead, they force dangerous energy toward a secondary release. A meme movement perfectly absorbs this, letting enraged youth vent harmlessly, preventing a coherent threat against the state. The pain of those 24 million students is undeniably real, but the platform currently organizing their anger may simply be an instrument of state management. Despite established political figures like Rahul Gandhi protesting these exact same exam leaks across multiple states, furious students largely ignored the traditional opposition. They chose to rally behind an anonymous Instagram page instead. For a generation exhausted by the historical baggage and hypocrisies of traditional parties, an apolitical movement holds massive psychological appeal. It feels clean, it feels safe. We have seen this exact psychological draw before. The India Against Corruption movement, with Anna Hazare as its friendly, non-threatening face, explicitly promised citizens a pure apolitical platform. Millions of well-meaning citizens flooded spaces like Indiagate, but behind the scenes, organized political operatives patiently waited to co-opt that massive mobilization and convert it into electoral power. Seeking shelter in an apolitical space offers no protection from the state. It often provides a pre-cleared path for the very operatives the public was trying to avoid. Television networks maintained a near-total blackout on the actual exam leaks. But the moment students gathered in Delhi for the protest, the cameras eagerly showed up to broadcast the chaos. Knowing the media was watching, organized right-wing fringe elements deliberately arrived at the protest site. Their sole objective was to hijack the narrative. Their tactic was highly specific. Agitators shouted trigger words and actively sought out Muslim youths, attempting to reframe a universal student demand for fair education into a bitter Hindu-Muslim conflict. This is the grim reality behind why commentators warned Muslim students to avoid the protest. The state holds a documented history of responding to minority participation with severe retaliation, turning a plea for justice into an excuse for bulldozer demolition. By weaponizing communal division, the state creates a fracture that police violence alone could never achieve, a permanent break in the front of a unified opposition. We may never firmly establish the true motives of the meme page founders. Wasting energy trying to decode their secret intentions is a distraction. Regardless of the organizers' intent, the anxiety of 24 million young citizens remains. Their fury over ruined careers is too concrete to be dismissed as mere digital theater. Traditional political structures must rethink how they interact with spontaneous digital outbursts. Think of these localized movements as chaotic, fast-moving rivers, and established political parties as the vast ocean. The ocean does not try to compete with the river out of insecurity. It simply opens its arms, absorbs the raw, chaotic energy, and guides that water into a larger, deeper strategy. The focus must remain on the students, ensuring the demand for systemic accountability outlasts the news cycle that put their futures at risk.